Hello and welcome to Baking with Miss Meow. Today is day 9 of the 30-day baking challenge, and today we'll be making a Mocha Yule Log. I've never tried this before, so hopefully it turns out really good. I guess we'll see what happens. The ingredients for the dough are supposed to be cake flour, but I didn't get that, so we're going to try all-purpose flour, sugar, cream of tartar, salt, baking cocoa, and eggs. First, it wants me to sift together the flour, salt, and cocoa. I'm just gonna mix it. I don't really feel like sifting, so I'm gonna mix all that together real quick. I'll go ahead and do the salt first. Next, we're going to add the cocoa. We need a 1/4 cup. This is an 1/8 cup, so 2 of these. 1, 2, and then a 1/2 cup of cake flour, which again, I have all-purpose. So hopefully that does this recipe justice. They also want you to separate the eggs and let the egg whites sit at room temp for ½ hour. Now we're going to take the egg yolks, beat them until they're nice and fluffy, then add a 1/2 cup of the sugar. You can see that the egg yolks are a little thicker, so you gradually add the sugar, mix that in. Then after it's a nice lemon color, you're going to fold in the flour mixture. You can see that this is now a lemon color. So it wants you to fold in the flour mixture, and folding in basically means not mixing it. You kind of just scoop it like that. This is kind of like a reverse meringue. So folding it is like this. You're not stirring it really hard, you're just kind of gently folding it in until it gets wet. I've folded this in. Now you can see that it's pretty thick. It's like a little bit thicker than brownie batter, I'd say. So with clean and dry egg beaters and a clean and dry bowl, now we're going to be whipping the eggs, and essentially we're making a meringue here. So in a minute we're going to add the cream of tartar, and then after that gets a little foamy, we're going to add the sugar. You can see how foamy it is. Now you're going to add the sugar a little at a time until it turns white and it's kind of glossy. You can see here that it's a glossy meringue. I can kind of try to show you how it's not completely stiff. It moves around really easily. So first it wants us to fold in 1/4 of the egg whites. And once that's folded in, do the rest of it. So kind of, I'm assuming it will loosen up the thick chocolate-like batter. So I did 1/4 of it in there. Now I just put the rest of it. I'm gonna fold this in, get this all mixed. Then we're going to pour this in the prepared cookie sheet, not cake pan. It's a cookie sheet. They wanted me to prepare it with parchment paper and spray the parchment paper with grease. Then I'm going to put it in a preheated oven of 350 between 12 and 15 minutes. And they said it's really important that you do not overbake it. Here we have the prepared parchment paper. I'm going to pour this all over, get it spread out nice and evenly. and then stick it in the oven for between 12 and 15 minutes. As you can see, I've spread this out pretty evenly. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty important that the pan and parchment paper is sufficiently greased, because after you bake it, you're going to be rolling it. So this needs to be able to be removed pretty easily. So I'm going to stick it in and see what happens. So they want you to bake this. I put it in for about 14 minutes, but they want you to do it until it's kind of springy. And now you're going to let it cool for about 5 minutes. And then you're going to flip it over and put it on the tea towel. For the filling, you need instant coffee, heavy whipping cream, and powdered sugar. You're going to dissolve the coffee granules in the heavy cream, mix it together, and then you're going to, until it gets thicker, and then you're going to add the powdered sugar. So this has gotten a little thicker. Now I'm going to add the powdered sugar until it says until stiff peaks form. Now I'm going to attempt to roll this jelly roll cake. So you're going to flip the pan upside down onto the tea towel. So I'm trying to prepare that so that way it can just come right off. Then what you're going to do is peel off the parchment paper and roll up the cake in the tea towel and let that cool completely. Okay, so this looks good. I'm just going to flip it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that worked. Kind of like a pineapple upside down cake. Now you peel this off. Looking pretty good. Okay. And now I'm going to roll this up and let it cool. So hopefully this part works. So you just want to do it as, I'm assuming, as small as you can, or close together as you can. Okay, well here we go. Now I'm going to let this cool, and then I'm going to do the filling and the frosting. So here I have a clean cookie sheet and clean parchment. I'm going to attempt to put the filling in. So it says to unroll the cake and put the filling in. All right, here I'm spreading the filling. One big step I forgot is you're supposed to put a little bit of cocoa powder on top of the tea towel so that the cake does not stick to the towel. So that might be a big mistake. We'll see what happens, but so far so good. So you're just gonna spread this around, make sure it's nice and even, and then roll it back up without the towel. Okay, so between not dusting the tea towel with cocoa powder and I didn't wait until it was completely cold, I think those two things made it kind of fall apart a little bit. But, you know, it's still rolled up, and luckily this part won't be showing. As I was saying, this part's not going to show. I'm going to cover this in plastic wrap and then put it in the refrigerator to cool completely. And then I'm going to cover it in the frosting I made. For the frosting, you have 2% milk, baking cocoa, vanilla extract, butter, brewed coffee, cooled, and powdered sugar. And you just beat all of that together. All right, this is sat in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes, and I have the frosting, and now I'm just gonna kind of try to get this on there without ruining the cake. I probably should have sifted the powdered sugar in the frosting because it's a little lumpy, but I don't think that matters. After you get this all frosted, it wants you to take a fork and make, that wants you to make it look like a tree. So kind of, I guess, zigzag the fork along, I don't know, make it look like a tree branch. Anyway, I'm going to continue doing that now. Here it is, all frosted. I'm going to cut into it and see if I did this right or not. It kind of looks like it needs to sit in the fridge a little more before I can tell. Okay, just finished the Mocha Yule Log. It didn't turn out very pretty, but it is very delicious. It has a nice texture and a nice taste. The mocha flavor isn't too intense. Yeah, pretty good. I'd probably like to practice it again to try and make the technique a little prettier. So yeah, it was very delicious. So thanks for watching.